to the Aftermath.
Welcome to the Aftermath.
The Aftermath.
Welcome to another episode of the Aftermath. It's your boy Ice the Man, back with the final episode of Season 2. As always, my brother from another mother, Realist, are you there?
Yo. What's up?
Yeah, always nice, right, to have you here with us on the Aftermath. For those of you that didn't join us last week, the Realist was named the Commissioner, so now I get blessed with the presence of the Commissioner on the show every week. This is the last week of season 2, or the last episode of season 2. Don't worry, gentlemen, we'll have off-season shows. We call those shows on the clock, which is on the clock to start the next season, on the clock for whatever picks, or on the clock for whatever situation. So we will have some kind of media to bring you, so don't cry, but sign up today for season 3. Season 2 is over, and we're going to talk a little bit about that going in here. Now overall, let's look at the bigger picture of the season, Realist. Kind of taking a look without getting too in-depth. How do you feel about Season 2 in the books? Closed, signed, sealed, delivered.
I felt it was good to get it over with. I felt like the season, it felt long and kind of like a run-on sentence. Like, it felt like it needed to come to an end, and I'm kind of glad it did, and looking forward to moving on, and hopefully have a better season 3.
On a different note, how do you feel about this is 8th episode of season 2, The Aftermath. This is the longest run we've had because the first season went pretty fast, but I mean, how do you feel media-wise as the Aftermath? I mean, the show, you're comfortable in the direction it's going. You've helped me produce and develop this Aftermath here. How do you feel about that?
I felt like we've done a pretty good job. I think maybe we could do a better job at promoting the show, maybe on social media sites. Better maybe spread it on like some Madden websites to promote and bring more viewership. But other than that, I feel like from a week-to-week base, we do a really good job of what we do.
Yeah, needs to continue. I believe last season you received the Walter Payton Award, right?
Season 2, yeah.
Season 2. So like I say last season. Well, season 2, you received the Walter Payton Award. So a lot of that has to do with the side work that you do here on the Aftermath, a lot of the staff stuff that you did, busting ass and making sure the season runs smooth. Appreciate you on that. So the Aftermath, I agree, we need to get more viewers. I don't know what the hell we were thinking going live on a Friday. Yesterday, I forgot all about it being a Thursday. It was one of those weeks this week where it's like, oh crap, it's Thursday already? So completely my fault. I was almost asleep on the couch, and Realist goes, hey, we got to do a show. I was like, oh crap, dude. So we are back today on a Friday only. Really retarded for us to be doing this during a Duke game, or not a Duke game, but a North Carolina game. So I apologize to those of you that are watching both from each. Thank you. But those that aren't, you can always catch us hopefully on YouTube as we go. But let's move right along and jump into it. Now, the season 3 this season, Super Bowl, or season 2, Super Bowl this season, was the first full season Super Bowl that we had. Came down to the Titans versus the Tennessee Titans, versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Super Bowl 2, technically, and I'm using air quotes because Super Bowl 1 was a beta type of season, but Super Bowl 2, it was pretty exciting. I mean, from everything that happened that went on, there was a couple back and forth, and we can discuss a little bit about that, and I'm okay being wide open with the media and explaining the situations there. But how did you feel overall the Super Bowl went this season? I mean, with Tampa Bay, I think, was a great team, and Titans, of course, returning champions. How did it all play out in your eyes, the play, I guess?
As far as the Super Bowl, I can only go off watching the first 2 games because they were the only 2 games that were streamed. First game, both teams looked really sloppy. It was a very I wouldn't even say like a defensive battle. It was just very sloppy play. And the Titans made a huge coverage mistake and gave up a free touchdown to start the second half on the first play, I believe it was. So it was 7-6, and the Titans were completely dominating the first half. And then after that, it kind of just fell apart for the Titans in game 1. And then Titans bounced back and won game 2. So those are all I could say about those 2 games. And then games 3 and 4, I think the 2 lines that everybody was waiting to see play, Saul and Gabe and ATM's line against James, Rogue, and Danish's line, and didn't get streamed, but from what I understood, they were 2 really close games down to the wire.
It was pretty hard to put a game day together this Super Bowl. Like unlike last Super Bowl, we were able to put the last 2 together. So very extremely difficult. In Game 3, now there was some drama in the situation. I seen it in the chat. Reddit in the chat also had something to do with it on the back end, due to the fact that there was multiple people involved in that game from staff that wasn't able to input. You were pretty much the only staff left standing due to Mark being out with an illness. That's why Mark hasn't joined us. So my thoughts are with Mark as we move forward here, because I do miss Mark Dog. But anyway, with that being said, and we kind of got to talk a little bit about it, or we wouldn't be a media show. From my understanding and my point of view is that, or my understanding on the situation is, they were 80-20 when it ended. Am I correct on that?
Mm-hmm.
80-20, which was a 75-25 rule.
Well, it was 80-20. I mean, it was in that range. It was like 77, whatever.
Oh, I thought you weren't counting, like, because you can't count kneels or whatever. And so
No. Yeah, it was like 78. Yeah, it was like 78 something.
Okay.
It was like 78 to 20, whatever the numbers are.
Gotcha.
It was in that range.
It was in that range because you couldn't count the kneels and you couldn't count the whatever.
Yeah.
So that was filed against the Bucks in Game 3. So going into Game 3, it was 1-1, and Game 3, the Bucks won. Due on a last, from my understanding, just talking to Gabe, on the last drive, in order to score, because it was a close game, they ran the ball probably more than what they should have, kicked the field goal, went up, and then went back and played defense, pinned them deep, and then won the game. So on the Bucks side, they weren't doing anything outside of simulation, so staff felt that wasn't breaking the 75-25 rule due to the fact that the quarters are smaller. That's an older, outdated rule. There was a couple other reasonings behind it, I believe, that staff agreed with and discussed. I'm a black and white guy. I was like, rule broken, replay the game. But however, that being the game 3 of the Super Bowl and playing more, I guess, with 4-minute quarters and trying to be simulation, the only way he could have not broke it was either rolled out, threw the ball away, or spiked the ball twice and really kind of done something uncharacteristic of a simulation style in order to to not break that rule. So I kind of understood the ruling, and I was with you 100% in the staff. So, well, you were the staff. So, but I also, I was on the other side. So that was the only drama that really happened in game 3. That was the only kind of real drama that happened there. But game 4, Tampa Bay.
Game 4 was streamed. I forgot about that.
Game 4 was streamed, and we did not watch. I did not get a chance to do game day and 4. In the future, whoever's listening to this show, all 4 or 5, 6 viewers, whatever, if you are playing in a big game, let us know a couple days ahead of time and say, hey, put together, because it takes a little bit to put together stuff. You just don't throw it on and stream it. You got to talk about stats and who matches up against who, and it's not just something you can hop on, and I guess you could hop on and do, but I'm kind of a freak with stuff like that. And so with that being said, let us know that, hey, I'm going to stream game 4 or I'm going to stream game 3, and we could definitely set something up, because I want nothing more than media surrounding the league. That's why I spend, Realist and I spend a lot of time putting articles up, or I haven't done articles in a while, or doing this show every week. So let us know. Big game for game 4. They won game 3, game 4, and that actually put them as the Super Bowl champions. So congratulations to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 3-1, which you, Realist, had them going games 4, and you had the Bucks. I actually had the Titans in 5, so surprised that Orlando pulled one down. I thought it was all going to ride on one side, so congratulations to the guys that won it all. I mean, I got them listed here, which is the first time on any stream. I've got Orlando Stay Woke, Saul Biter, A Bloody Pea Stain, Gabe Illy, Ty Beaumain, the Money Team, Mr. Ohio, I'm Uncle Willie's son. Congratulations to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl champions, EFL Season 2, the first season that we went a full season. You have anything to say, Realist? I mean, congratulations, right? Are definitely in order.
Yeah, congratulations from the Bucks. I mean, we had them ranked 2 most of the season. Ultimately, when it came down to it, I wasn't shocked these were the 2 teams that played in the Super Bowl. And what I said, I really felt it would go 4 games. I thought Orlando would be able to pull one out against Abyss. I felt like that would go. It would be like equal. Back, maybe one would take a game from each other, and then I ultimately felt Gabe, Saul, and ATM would be the better line, and they won both of their games. So,
without question,
to the Bucks. They deserve to be the champs.
Absolutely, without question. And I bet it's fun playing when you've got Abyss and Orlando, which are actually real good friends off. Are on Xbox Live in order to play a big game like that 1v1 together. I bet that was kind of fun for both of them because they play a lot together, so I imagine they had to probably throw some extra plays in there that each of them didn't know. So I bet that was a good game, the first 2 games there. I didn't get a chance to watch those streams. I know you did, but it's good that they went 1-for-1. Orlando pulled a win off, so he can't be absolute worthless, him and his line. And congratulations to Gabe and the guys. I mean, they $7 million player really pulled it off for him this season, as they're now Super Bowl Season 2 champions. All I can say is congratulations. Great season, great year. You were, like I said, you were 2 all season. We had you in the pre-rankings as number 2, and then at the end you proved you should have been number 1. So, way to be there, way to be big. I think a lot of it playing together as you went, because it was a longer season. You got really figured each other out by the end. I think that helped big time on those last few games. But season 2 champions, I actually have. If you go to the site, I have you getting the only thing that Tampa Bay's ever won, where Gruden's getting dumped on with the Gatorade and season 2 champ. So right on the front page, EliteTeamPlay.com, EFL, you get to season 2 champions. With that being said, we can kind of go right into the next thing here. We have season 3 upcoming, which is the next big thing on everybody's mind. And since this is the aftermath, we are going to look forward instead of behind. That puts an end on season 2. So season 2 is in the books. I went through today and cleaned a lot of the forums up. Forgive me, I've been slacking on that, making sure all those are clean. I've got to clean out some of the other stuff. But we're really looking for players and owners this season. So kind of to go through and understand when you sign up, go to sign up here, you sign up. I think we have a little less than 20 right now currently signed up. In order to have what I would like to see, and this is just, I'm going to pull up a calculator so I'm not completely retarded here. I'd like to see 3 lines, right? At least 8 teams with 3 lines. That's a minimum of 72 players. Plus, you're going to need a couple guys. So let's go with 11 players, because you're going to need at least a couple guys to help out and cover. That's going to be riding the bench. So you need at least 88. Plus, you've got to figure that about 20%. So, 88 plus 17. Look at the math. 105 is kind of what we need to feel comfortable, I would say, in order to run. If you really want 3 lines, you've got to help us hit that number. If you want to stay with 8 teams and 2 lines, then you're going to be somewhere around 56, 60 players, 70, somewhere in there. So that's kind of the numbers that we're trying to go for and hit moving on for season 2 or season 3. So if you know somebody that's interested, get them signed up. Let's play. Let's have fun. This is a fun league. There's a lot to talk about tonight about season 3. I'm just going to kind of run through a couple things and do a little quick recruiting thing here. Go to EliteTeamPlay.com. Click sign up here. If you are not a member and this is your first time watching this video, thank you for joining us. However, you come to EliteTeamPlay.com and you can log in at the top or site login. It's really simple. Click site login. Fill out your name, your password. You might want to match it up to your Xbox gamer tag so people can contact you. What you play, offensive coordinator. If you have a defense that you feel strong enough, a head coach, or an offensive, if you have an offense that's strong enough, definitely need offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators. And then you pick what you play. So if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm going to play QB D-line or QB linebacker or QB DB. That kind of puts me right in the position. I agree to this, and I complete the registration, which it will log me in. From there, I would go to the EF. I'm kind of quickly logging myself in. Go to the EFL at the very top. Or if you're still back at the home page, come down to where the little EFL spins there. When you're selecting a league, click the EFL. It will log you right into the EFL main page, and it's extremely simple. Sign up here. Click that button, sign up here. And you can sign right up. You click it, it'll ask you, it'll sign you up right to the league. You can even click the EFL to see who else is in there. Right now we have about, like I said, 20 members in there, 19. So if you're going to play, please sign up. If you're going to be an owner, if you're wanting to be an owner, go back to the EFL page and come down to the very bottom right there where it says EFL Season 3 Owners. Click that, put in there, hey, Realist, I'd like to be an owner. Him and his staff will interview you and assign you a position on the EFL Owners. That means you get the chance to do your own bidding, tryouts. You get to pick the players you want on your team by bidding for them and competing on for the season. So there's a lot, from my understanding, a lot of changes going on, but Season 3 as well, ready to sign up, ready to go. Staff applications are also open. I believe you're looking for a couple staff still, right, Realist? Or you have everybody in mind that you wanted, or?
I got one more person I'm going to add for sure. I don't know if you care if I say his name or not, but I'm for sure going to add him.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We'll announce it as we do some coverage. But Super Bowl, time to get community involved, and this is kind of the next step here as well, as we talk a little bit about, let's talk a little bit about Season 3 breaking news. As we discuss time to get community involved, there's some things you want to discuss, kind of just throw out as we go into this next season. What are some of the things that are on your mind that you feel needs to be addressed moving forward, Realist?
I think we need to, for sure, go into that rule book. It's 2 seasons in. I think most of the people in the league knows how the game works. If there's some things that need to be touched up on, I think there's some, like I said, a few rules from that rule book.
That are kind of outdated, right? Like are a little.
Yeah. And then there's some we gotta decide if we still want, if we want to add some things, take some things away. People have made suggestions on new things they think should happen, so we're definitely gonna. I'll talk to my staff. We're definitely gonna take those into consideration. Get people involved to see what they think. That's what I want to do as a commish, first and foremost, is get the community involved and see what their thoughts are, because ultimately, at the end of the day, they're the people that come to play. So if they are not liking everything, why are they going to want to come to play?
I absolutely agree. Dirty Falcon here mentions in this post, shorten regular season by a week and make all playoff series best of 3 this season felt like a decade. I absolutely agree with this post there, saying that shorten the season. It did feel a little longer. It seems like maybe I'm getting older. I don't know, but it seems like when in the old VFL days, that 4 weeks was perfect. Like it was, oh yeah, great. But I think the Maddens were a lot more enjoyable then than they are now. So that kind of affects it, because this, to be completely honest, this Madden is not the most enjoyable Madden as it's when it's and the MUT isn't the most enjoyable as well. I don't, the team isn't the same, the MUT draft and the regs. So is that going to be on the plate this season, you think, to shorten the regular season, whether it be by a week or 2 or whatever you feel is necessary, and then maybe even take a look at the playoffs and make them run quicker and faster?
Yeah, the shortened the shortened regular season will for sure be a thing. You always have your guys that when they're losing, they like to duck out. You always have 1 or 2 teams like that. So that's always going to be a thing, I think, in a way. You'll have players that check out once they realize, hey, we're not playing in the postseason. What's the point to keep playing? But I think the playoffs, it's kind of hard to just say, oh, we're only going to play 3 games. But I mean, we'll think about it. We'll look into it for sure. The shortened regular season, though, that will probably be done for sure.
Well, and I'm even okay with heavy. I kind of agree with you on the playoffs, but I think I would even push for I would vote for a faster playoff. Sunday, Monday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, or something, something to get it flowing a lot faster, so we're in and out within a week or 2. We're done with the playoffs within a week or 2. So that's kind of me personally, a week and a half maybe, but it took 4 weeks, and then 3 weeks. It was 8 weeks before now everybody's kind of like, we got to pull them all back and go, hey, everybody, we're back. And they're like, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll come back. I'm going to go play the show or whatever else news is going to come out, So I agree with that, but maybe shorten just the time it's played, right? Like maybe not shorten the games, but get it all done Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday starts number 2 of the week, and then, Sunday, Monday next week it's done type of thing, and maybe play the third game, 3 games in a night if needed to, just to get them out of the way. If that's what it takes. But Live to Die says something he was thinking about was the rosters to run, maybe only a Core Silver Elite or a MUT regular season. Are you guys thinking about doing anything with the MUTs at all? Is that something that's on the table, how you're going to move into this season, whether the number goes up, the number goes down of overall, or what cards can be used, what cards can't? Is there any discussions like that going to move forward into season 3?
For sure. The thing I didn't like about the things we did the first 2 seasons, and it's just my personal opinion. We took votes on it. I don't like that they were, because the thing about MUT, right, is they pump out so much content. That's their point, is to make you to pay to play. Um, they come out with these new cards. Wow, it's got +1 stat, but the picture on the card looks cooler, so I'm gonna pay for it. Um, I don't want the league to turn into that, but I do think we need to consider allowing more cards to be used. Um, so, like for instance, if a new running back comes out and somebody's like, I'd like to use that new running back, but we have restrictions where we say, oh, you can't really use that card because that card didn't come out when the season started. Like, I understood that, but I think we got to somewhat move on from that. I think maybe keep a limitation on what cards new we allow to be used, like maybe none of the 99s, or a certain overall limit, like a 95s. New 95s and aboves can't be used or something like that. But if somebody wants to use a new 80 overall card and try it out, I don't see the big issue with that. Me personally.
Yeah. Well, I can understand why that rule was in place, but maybe with shortened seasons, it's not that big of a deal, right? I mean, if it's over within a month, then you don't have that much dropping, especially going into the slower months of MUT. But they're going to be pushing out a lot of stuff here in the last few months just to try to suck up as much money as they can before they launch the next one. I know that. That's just Madden. But I don't know. I mean, I agree but disagree. So, I mean, that's definitely something I'm looking forward to the community voting on. And keep in mind, everybody, that we're just discussing possibilities. We're not talking about anything in stone. We're just talking about how we both feel about some of these things. Yeah, everything's hypothetical at this point. The way that it should work, and I think Realist is definitely pushed in that direction, and that's one of the reasons that Mags and I selected Realist, is that he wants to take it back to the community, to where the first couple seasons had to get organized and just get rolling, right? And Abyss did a great job, and I'm not knocking him at all and his staff on getting it moving in the right direction, and a great foundation to build off of. But now we've got to kind of mold it into the league that we want it to be as a group of people that play in this league. So we should have a little bit more say as a community, which he's definitely bringing back and saying, hey, what are you guys thinking? So, voting at the community level, voting at the ownership level, and then voting at the, as a staff level. And as things get brought up and approached, Realist is one of the coolest guys I know to just jump into a party and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And he'll take it down and definitely make notes of it. And it will get discussed and get moved forward if it is a great idea as they continue to discuss it. But a few things here. The money team actually posted on this. Sacks count as pass plays. I'm going to go piece by piece. He put a few of them in here. So sacks count as pass plays. I think the 75-25 rule should probably, with 4-minute quarters, get thrown out. Me personally, I understand why it's in there because, and I've challenged anybody to go find me one game for simulation that wasn't 25-40, 20 or 75-25 at least. In the run to pass.
I found 2 games.
No, you didn't.
Yep.
No, you did not. Who?
Yeah.
All right, send them to me. I want to see them.
Yeah.
It's not. You found 2 games in the entire NFL league. You found 2.
Look. Just listen. Hear me out.
Okay.
Just keep talking. Give me a minute.
Anyway,
post the link.
I don't think the 75-25 rule. If you want to say the reason why that was built was not so. A lot of people are misunderstood why that rule was there. The rule was not there to say, oh, the running man's got to get his carries and the passing guy. That wasn't why that rule was there. So the ball's shared evenly throughout. Because 75-25, first of all, isn't even close to even. Why the rule was there because we considered ourselves a simulation league. So that 75-25 rule was to simulate real football. You don't just throw every down. It also kept on, let's say curls are broke this Madden. It's not. I'm just using an example. Or out routes are broke. It keeps you from doing an out route on the left, out route on the right, out route on the left, out route. So it keeps you from just throw. If you find something that works against the player, you've got to mix it up, run the ball a few times, pass the ball a few times, run the ball. You can't just run because you're going against a player that can't stop the run. You have to open up the pass a little bit as well. That's why the 75-25 was in there, for the enjoyment of the league, for people playing against each other, and for the simulation style. However, 4 minutes isn't simulated. Not only that, but you're lucky to get the ball 3 or 4 times a game. If you get it 3 or 4 times, your offense, you're fucking happy. Like, you're kicking ass, right? So, I'm going to click this link to the Panthers versus the Bears, huh? You saying that they broke the 75-25? When was this? When was these
2017?
statistics? 2017? They had, 7 attempts? 34 attempts? Oh, that's right, 34. I'm sorry. He did 34, and what did he do for I don't see rushing. Oh, he did. What do you mean? He did 30 carries and 34 passes. What are you talking about?
You got to flip to the
Bears?
Bears.
Oh, the 26 and 7. So they just pan the ball off 21 times and pounded, but it's 26 and 7. It's damn close. Damn close. Right? I mean,
Yeah. There's
I
another one I just got to... Oh, 2011.
I mean, that's...
Hold on. Give me... This one is not in question. I mean, that I've done the math. It's close. But this one's not in question.
I mean,
it's honestly...
it's like... That's pretty close. I mean, that's like the Super Bowl game, right? Like, that was damn close to the Super Bowl game. You got 4... And they were up 10 going into the half and just probably ran the ball the rest because the defense dominated Carolina with only 3 points on the board. However,
I got another one.
Okay, so you have 2
This
of them.
one is not. This is bad.
Very lopsided on this one. Is this the only 2 games you were able to find in the entire NFL games? 32 teams. 32 teams play 17 weeks, 544 games. Actually, no, it's divided into 2, so it's not fair because they play each other. You can't play that many games. So
yeah,
you got 272 games. Let me see this one here. Let's go live and look at this one. Kansas City's easily there. Yeah, 55 carries and only 8 attempts on passing. Huh? Well, you proved me. I said find me one, so you did find me one. You did find me one. Out of the massive years of football, you found me one. That's what I get. That's what I get for progression.
There's some. I know there's some. I just went for more. Obviously it happened in the 80s, probably 70s. I'm sure it happened 70s all the time. But yeah. I just tried to go with more of a 21st century.
Yeah, I still think sacks doesn't count in real football as pass attempts. They shouldn't count here. But on the flip side, what he's trying to say is you should count them if you're going the 75-25. I think the 75-25 rule should probably be tossed out for this Madden. Next Madden, bring it back maybe. We'll take a look and see. But 4-minute quarters, you get limited possessions. I absolutely agree with the money team, but I don't agree the fact that you should count sacks. You don't count them anyway, so don't bother. But at this point, it wouldn't matter, right? Like, if you blow up the 75-25, it doesn't matter.
Somebody actually made a good point to me.
What's that? On
why they agree they think they should count as pass attempts.
But if you don't have a 75-25, it doesn't matter.
Okay, hold here. So let me give you my thing.
Okay.
I do think we should have a 75-25. I think in the playoffs we should expand it a little bit to like maybe an 80-20.
See, I don't know why it would matter the rest of the season either. I think if the you get the ball maybe 3 or 4 possessions, right? Maybe. Like, you're ecstatic if you get to touch the ball 4 times. And on those 4 drives, because of 4-minute quarters and because of the accelerated clock that you can't turn off, the fact that the clock runs down 15 seconds every damn time, you have people hiking in the red constantly, which is another rule that nobody really pushed this year because there's really nothing you could do about it. By the time you pick your play and make your subs get in the game, your time's damn near out. You got to hurry up and hike the ball and play the game. So I feel that for this Madden, that 75-25 should be thrown out the window because you can't play simulation ball with 4 times touching the ball. That means you got to do run, pass, run, pass, run, pass, run, and that's not a real list. I mean, if you're running, you're getting a first down, you run again, get a first down, you run again, you get a first down, you throw, you get a first down, you throw again, you get a first down, you move. If you're behind, you hurry up and got to catch up, and then the 75-25 comes to the rule and says, oh, you won, but you broke this rule. I feel like it's not that important to this league, and should be thrown out. Now, was it a rule in the book? Yes. Going back to the reason why this pops up is because of that rule. But if you can't count, I don't think sacks can count as pass plays. If you're going to have a rule like this, then maybe yes, count sacks as pass plays or whatever, spike of the ball pass plays. But you shouldn't do anything outside of the realm of I gotta. Like Gabe mentioned this when we were talking about it. Oh, I got to run outside and throw the ball out of bounds for 2 plays because I got to get my set. You should have been following the rule the entire because it was the rule. So I'm still 100% behind that rule for this season because it was the rule. Like I didn't vote it in, I didn't do it, but that was the rule. However, do I agree that it's a solid rule? No. So kind of throwing that out. But anyway, sacks couldn't count as pass because they don't count as passes attempts in a real game. So. Bans the sky kick. I absolutely 1,000% agree with that. That's another one the money team brought up was ban the sky kick. I think that definitely needs to be discussed. Kicking it out of the end zone every play, it just feels like we're missing. And I know it's part of the game and they're broken, but we had by far less return touchdowns, which, don't get me wrong, sucks when it happens to you. Realist. But
tough.
But the point is, it's not. It takes away some fun. It just takes away some fun of returning the ball. Special teams, the only fun there is on special teams for anybody is returning the ball. I picked up blocks and was excited, like, whoa, I caught that block. Money Mike, season 1. I blocked the dude. He ran around the house. I was like, whoa, I got a block. I mean, it just feels like I'm in the game and I'm playing. Now you kick off and I don't even whatever. Why run down there? Why run back? Why bother? It's just out of the end zone. It takes a point out of the game that I really don't like. Now, can you still kick deep? Is it a kicker? I don't know. But ban sky kick. I mean, what are your thoughts on that one, Realist? I've talked a little much, so.
A weird one for me. Because sky kicking doesn't guarantee it's going to go out the end zone every time. I mean, it does. Yeah, that's a thing.
I know, because that's what was returned on you. But he had to run out of bounds to get it, which is technically real football legal. So it's I don't know. It puts a really bad taste in my mouth on that one. Feels like it's something that's kind of broke.
It is broke. But Madden broke it because they broke their game.
Yeah. No, and I understand with the returners, you're always going against somebody super fast, and I understand all of that, but I still feel like kicks need to be a part of the game. Now, don't get me wrong, you should still be able to kick them into the end zone, but hitting the freaking thing every single kick, I don't like it. I don't like it. Moving on to the next, allow MUT card trading. There's one, I don't want to ignore this one, but Money Team put in their promotion, which has nothing to do with the EFL itself. I've dumped a ton of money into the site and tried to promote. I just did a ad on Facebook, which I put a couple $100 towards that to try to get some. And I got a ton of people that clicked on the site, which is great, but it didn't turn into signups. It didn't turn into signups, didn't turn into sign-ons. It didn't turn into anything that we needed it to turn in. So if you're going to do promotions and styles, I know Abyss was heavy at this, and as a group, if the Money Team meant it this way, total, not just at somebody, as a group of EFL players currently listening now or listening tomorrow or listening later this week, if you want to help, this is the best way to help, is go and promote. Go grab one person. Right now with 20 people almost, we go grab one person each. We're at 40. We're almost half of where we need to be, and have them grab one person. Now we're at 60. So, I mean, see how easy that the word of mouth is the best way. However, we do have a Facebook group. We do have a Facebook. We do have a Twitter. We do have a YouTube. This is where we try to promote that. I know that we had a Reddit file going. I don't know if it's still going or not. And I know we had a EA Sports on the forums there going for a while. I don't know if they removed it or if it's still there as well. But when someone does go on and post and say something, post a link in the GroupMe or post a link on the site of what you said, and we will all go in there and say something. So it's not only you just saying it, it's 5, 6, 7, 8 guys all going, yeah, this is a great league. We love it. Come play, blah, blah, blah. You sign up. You do. Just that is the best way we just help each other out. Anyway, speaking of promotion, that's nothing to do with next season. It is because we have to grow, but it's nothing to do with what we're talking about now. Allow MUT card trading. I know it was something you guys were going to do, and then you backed out of it. Is that even on the table for discussion this season?
Everything's up for discussion. Anything the community feels would make the league better will be up for discussion. So yeah, we will discuss trading MUT cards, player likenesses is what I'm guessing he's saying. So like if my team has Barry Sanders, your team has I don't know, Todd Gurley, and we want to swap running backs. Like, hey, I'll trade you Barry Sanders if you give us Todd Gurley. Boom, boom, send it in, let the staff know you want to do this, and you make the trade.
Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. Something to talk about, I guess, or look into. The problem I have with a lot of this is not now everybody's got a ton of coins except me because I don't play that much. So there's a group of us that really love online team, and we're putting up with the crap that we have to deal with MUT in order to play online team play. And there's a big group, I think, of us that are loyal to the online team play, but are kind of still ticked that we have to play it through MUT and trade. Like someone was like, we should make them all real teams. Yeah, that's great, but it's hard to make them all real teams if you've got, if you get traded as a person, you get traded to from Kansas City to Tampa Bay. Guess what? Now your cards don't matter. You got to throw them all out and go get new. And we don't want to make it an expense for people to play. I mean, it is a free to play league, but we still don't want to make somebody have to go out and buy cards and drop cards. And I know that was one of the things going into the playoffs that we were trying to make a playoff push. We were like, dude, get this guy and get that guy. No, well, I want to be quarterback now. And then it wasn't as easy as just slipping and making it happen. You actually had to go build a roster and put things together and try different things. It becomes a huge pain in the ass. So I can see that being a problem with much trading back and forth. But if two teams agree on it, then they're down for going, doing that. I'm trying to think here. Another post here. I'm trying to figure who did North Carolina lose? Did North Carolina lose?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I had them. Oh my gosh. That went out of my Final Fours. Wow. Good job, Auburn. 97-80. Totally sidetracked. The Truth also posted in there. He wants to expand the lines to 3 lines. It's been 2 seasons in a row where one carries a team and the other way to the Super Bowl. Also, for the love of God, please no more throwing outside the numbers. Okay, there's a couple things in here. I'll kind of go through it. So it's been 2 seasons in a row where one line carries a team. I have been pushing from the beginning, and I feel last season we really should have took a step back and used those big numbers to push this 3 lines. However, this falls into the problem, and Truth knows because we've struggled in the past on this. Numbers dictate how many teams and how many we're allowed to have. Not only numbers dictates that, but also qualified owners dictate that, right? You don't want to put a crappy owner that you know is going to quit or back out or do something stupid during the season and then have to, clean up the mess because it's just not a good experience for anybody. The teams that's playing it, the team that is playing, the players that are on that team. So with that being said, I would love to have 3 lines. I love 4 or 6. I don't care. But the problem is that you can't because of the number of people. We get over 100 people. That is definitely a discussion to have. Absolutely. So help us get there, and we're more than happy to. I think that would definitely be on the table. Am I right on that, Realist? I mean, it really dictates on the numbers, right?
Yeah, it dictates on the numbers, and then that's a weird one to me too because I like to give respect to the owners or take their advice on a situation like that because at the end of the day, they are the ones that have to put up with the people. I know they sign up to do it, but still, they're the ones at the end of the day who are willing to take the job of taking command of a group of people. And in the first two seasons, we asked some of our owners, were like, "Hey, would you stay for the next season if we had, three lines instead of two?" And almost every single one of them said no. We want two lines. It's already enough on us that we have to manage this amount of people. Why would we want to have to manage three more?
Yeah, and that's understandable. But in the EFL, even two line, or in the EBA with two lines, we had 10 people. We're talking about 9, maybe 11, right? We had 10 with two lines, and we also had a couple ECU, so we had 12. It's one less than what we had in the minimum in the EBA because of more people can play, which I don't know if that helps or hurts the situation. And it's all about who you draft too, right? A lot of teams this year went for people that were buddies with other buddies with other buddies that were other buddies, and then when one of them quit, all their buddies quit. Or when something didn't go the right way, they came down with butt hurt syndrome, and their buddies did too, right? Well, if I can't play with this guy, I'm not playing, or I'm not going to play on the team if this. And it got very friendly, I would say, unfriendly in many team chats. So that's the rough part when you start moving forward. Owners have to do a better job, and the owners you select need to understand when you go in and bid on somebody, you really need to bid on the people that are going to show up to their team or somebody you can trust. And if you do 3 lines, that third line QB or whoever you want to be the leader of that third line, the captain, I should say, needs to hold down the fort. Some of the better teams that I've seen run even back in the old VFL days is the owner has his line, the GM has his line, and then the first person they drafted pretty much had his own line, and they would all log on play, and that you didn't have to follow them, you didn't have to check up with them, you didn't have to do anything. They took care of themselves because each of them had a leader on the team. So that's important when building a team. What I see a lot this season, even last season, was I'm the owner and my buddy's the GM. He's going to play on my line. And then, oh man, we always have problems with that second line. Just always have problems with that second line. Well, yeah, I mean, kind of didn't put a leader there. You drafted, I'm not going to say names, but you know who. And then, and then when they decided that something didn't go their way, whether it was a ruling or they got their ass slapped or whatever it may be, they were throwing 20 interceptions. They decided, oh, I don't really want to play this game. No, this game sucks. I don't want to play it anymore. And then all their buddies were like, yeah, me neither. And then it just left the team shortened, right? So anyway, but that goes with numbers. To move on, he also mentions in here throwing outside the numbers. I'm kind of torn on this one, Realist. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm torn. What's your thoughts? And the QB running back, like Jimbo says, and the QB running back 15 yards. That used to be a rule in the old Madden. But we both know why it was there. But how do you feel?
Obviously, both will be looked at. Like I've said, everything will be looked at. The QB running back 15 yards, yeah, that's kind of, I think that's kind of a little abusive. I understand why a lot of quarterbacks do it because, some of the D linemen get in almost instantly, it seems, especially as someone who played quarterback the last week of my season in the playoffs. I've seen a couple times where my offensive lineman just stood no shot at blocking, even on run plays when I played running back throughout the season. A lot of the times, I was just stuck in the backfield. There was literally nowhere to go because my the offensive line didn't block. But that will for sure be looked at. The throwing outside the numbers is a kind of a weird one. I feel like the reason that rule was put in place before was due to the fact you could kind of force the zones to suck in to play the quarterback on the run or the pass.
Yeah.
But that's not a thing anymore. If you don't click a button, the closest guy to the ball is not going to move, like the defensive back. So like what happens most of the time? So
Well,
the defensive back is in either a purple or some type of blue. And if you don't click the button to go get the quarterback, they're not going to go after the quarterback. And if you do click it, they're going to go get the quarterback. So ultimately, it's somebody's choice to click the button to go get the quarterback, or don't click the button and they stay in coverage.
yes, I would agree with you. However, this is my problem I have with it. I don't have a problem with throwing outside the numbers if he's being chased and he has to make a play on the run, rolling. This is the problem I have. Hike, run directly past the numbers, wait for a few seconds while the defense it isn't chasing me until I just ran out, and then the defense shows up, and then I throw the ball down for whatever yard, a set standstill. So they move the pocket really for no eternal reason. Or go back 15 yards without being chased back. I have no problem if I break through and I'm chasing the quarterback and he takes off to the left, to the right, backwards, and I'm trying to chase him down, right? I've got a most of the time, and I'm using air quotes you can't see, most of the time I've got a 80 or 90 plus speed guy on my defensive end anyway. I should be able to somewhat chase him down. I'm not saying he doesn't get away from me because it happens all the time. But what the problem I have is the automatic hike, run back 15 yards, turn around just to buy time to do your play. Or hike the ball, magically roll out no matter what past the numbers, and then I'm moving the pocket to give me time. Okay, now there's nobody in front of me I could stop. See, that to me is a little far-fetched. Like I don't like that. I hate that. I don't mind if I come through the line right away. You were scrambling. You're trying to get the hell away. I mean, any quarterback in his right mind would. I don't know about running back 15 yards. Most of them don't do that. They'll either roll left or right or throw the ball away. But I'm okay with you rolling out past the numbers as I'm chasing you. You're trying to get the hell away. You're trying to decide whether I'm going to run or throw the ball or whatever. But hiking and just taking off like that, I agree. I kind of agree. But because a lot of this he states here, that like he's saying here, nobody can cover the wide receiver for 20 seconds. But he states in here that he has to put a QB spy every play. A lot of that is because of who we allow. We're putting 99, 98, 97 quarterbacks. Most of those guys have the ability to go not open, run. And so you have to still put a spy no matter if he rolls or doesn't roll, right? I mean, because almost every single quarterback has some sort of speed that could hurt you. Sometimes that's a lot of problem with this too. Like you said, you get instant access. Sometimes you get instant access, so it's just out of habit that you're already moving back or you're already moving left or right. But if I'm chasing the guy, I expect him to run right or left or outside the pocket or whatever. But I don't think he should break the pocket unless he's being chased out of the pocket, right? That's kind of frustrating to me. But either or, I mean, it's definitely a discussion that could be had, and you guys are.
For me, from my standpoint, I never overly seen that this season. I didn't see any quarterbacks just saying hike, rolling out the pocket, and standing still. I never personally, I never seen that, and maybe one game, and it's not to remember. I seen more of snap, throw the ball really quick, high point pass. That was my issue that I see.
Yeah, and that's frustrating as well. I did see a few games where it was hike and rolled away from wherever I was playing on the defensive line. And I'm not saying I'm a great defensive line by far. Not saying that. I wasn't even in the talks for Pro Bowls. What I'm saying is I've seen this happen. So then I've had to switch. It just automatically rolls that way every time, right? And then what happens is he rolls that way and then takes off, or if his one or two guys are open, or you're playing zone, he's waiting for his guy to get out of the zone. He's just trying to buy some time in order to throw the ball. If you're chasing him out, I understand that. Like, I understand he has to make a play at that point. You're forcing him to make a play. But if I'm there and he just magically rolls out before the pocket breaks down or before there's any kind of penetration into the pocket, then I've seen that a lot this season, especially the running back. I've seen a lot. 15 yards, turn around, throw a fucking bullet. It was just nuts, like absolutely nuts. Shady was bad about that as well. I seen it out here, on my stream. True says I played Shady where he did it every single pass play. I think it was Shady we played this year, did it a few times to us. It was frustrating, and then I want to say Beastie, but I'm not 100% sure about that. drops in every pass play. But I want to say even Beastie was guilty about that as well. But I'm not 100% certain that everybody's doing it. But there are some people that I think are abusing it, which makes it feel very I don't know. It's just I think the game, because you're playing with 97, 98 speed guys, 99 speed guys. They're rolling out and they're rolling to the right away without the pocket breaking down. I think it's probably something that should be looked at, and I'm sure you would.
None of the quarterbacks really have
high speeds.
They're mobile, but like Vic was the only person until Lamar Jackson obviously came out that had like crazy speed at quarterback.
Yeah. Definitely something you guys can look at and check out. Vic, yeah, Vic's nuts. Lamar Jackson's going to be nuts. Those types of quarterbacks are. I mean, it felt like I was chasing. Who was that last season that drove me absolutely insane? I know I played BC last season and I wanted to break my controller because I was chasing him all over the place and it was like, come on, and I was just getting frustrated. I want to say McNabb, even though he's not that fast, it felt like he was running all over the field and then turning around and making dot passes in the middle of the field that should not be made while you're on the run. So, but again, I can see that. Definitely, it should be a discussion and talked about. Is there anything else I'm missing before I wrap this show up tonight?
No.
We discussed a lot. If you have more, click on the time to get involved in the community right here. Time to get the community involved. Click that button. All these ideas are floating here. Click that button. Type in there. I know Realist looks through there. Realist staff looks through there and pinpoints out some things that they can discuss, and they'll be brought up, whether it's to the community, to the owners, or to staff. It will be talked about, I'm sure. So, or at least on this show, we'll talk about it, and we'll discuss it. Some changes or what's not going to be for the next season, and hopefully we'll get some things. So I'm really excited for season 3. If you haven't signed up, do so. Very simple. Go to EliteTeamPlay.com. Site sign up right here. Click that thing. Sign up for the site. If you already signed up for the site, log in. Log in with your site stuff. Go to the EFL at the top. You will see. Sign up here with Adam Thielen. That's my boy. Click the sign up here button. Click that. It will sign you up. You are in the EFL because that's where you signed up. 19 members right now. I would love to see more. I do know we were discussing tonight that Realist will be working on a timeline. He expects to have that up here real soon. So he'll have a timeline of when signups will be cut off. That is going to affect how many teams we have. Also, we need more owners. If you're interested in owning a team, EFC Season 3 owners, click that. Owner application. Fill it out. Say you want to own a team. Own a team. If you want to be interested in staff, got this up. Go to Season 3 staff applications. Click that there. Put in Season 3 staff applications. Check out the site. Daily, weekly, every day. Go down here, click some ads. Don't look at my trophy case. It's empty. Click some ads. That's the only place we make money is if you click ads or go to the site. I want to say that's about it for tonight's show. Congratulations to the Season 2 champs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Orlando, Gabe and the guys. Sal, congratulations to those guys.
Finals MVP, we never announced it.
Finals MVP. So let's go back to the Super Bowl here. Super Bowl, EFL Season 2 Super Bowl champs. Did they do a Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah, I was told Super Bowl MVP is being given to wide receiver defensive back, Mr. ATM.
Mr. ATM. Saul's going to be salty. Saul Byer had that in his back pocket. But Ty Abomi, the money team, Mr. Ohio, I'm Uncle Willie's son, which Mr. ATM is the money team? No, that's E-Money.
Yep, the money team. Yep. Nope, that's him.
That's him. Mr. ATM is the money team. So, Mr. ATM, the money team, congratulations as the Super Bowl MVP. Great job there. Gabe, Orlando, Saul, Ty, Mr. Ohio. I think Mr. Ohio was ECU, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, ECU, and I'm Uncle Willie's son. Look at that. Get to be on the bench and collect one. All right, team. Great. We'll probably go in a little bit in the off season, look at some trophies and stuff. For those of you who haven't got a trophy yet, I'm sure Mags will be taking care of that shortly when he gets some time. He's been rather busy as of late, playing Call of Duty, and other things. So he will be on top of that. For those of you that are interested, please go tell someone to sign up today, tomorrow. Let's get it rolling. The faster we can get, the faster we can move. Thank you for joining us for the Aftermath. This is the last episode you will see for Season 2. We won't be back until after probably the first week of Season 1, but we will have an off-season show called On the Clock. So keep that in mind as we continue to go the Aftermath and discuss everything in the EFL. We hope to be back next season. And thank you for everyone who watched this season, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. That way so you know when we're on. I only use this for the Elite Team play, so subscribe to my site and subscribe to our YouTube, which will be in the chat as well. For those of you who don't know, we have a chat, GroupMe chat that kind of goes on. We discuss everything. So, Realist. I mean, it's over. It's a done with. Had a great season. Appreciate you joining me this season.
Yep.
And look forward to Season 3.
Yeah.
Great. And hopefully we'll have Mark back coming soon. So, Mark, get better.
I've talked to Mark. He's doing better.
Good. Thoughts for Mark. I don't know, it doesn't really do anything. You can't cache my thoughts anywhere, but I'm thinking of him. So, Mark, get better. And I'm with Truth. I want a trophy. How do I get a trophy? Can I just give myself a trophy? Thanks for joining the Aftermath. We're done. Season 2 in the books. Good night.